Okay guys, one of the first pieces of software we're going to be using is called Adobe Audition, and this is a sound editing software. And this one's really nice if you have a narrative, you have music, you've gotten a sound clip from someplace and you want to cut it down, clean it up. This is the program that you'd want to use. You could either use this. There's also a free program that once you graduate or you don't have the funds or you're just getting started and you may not have the whole Adobe package, called Audacity. And you can also get that, which is a free software. This one comes with Creative Cloud. So how this works is I can either import in sound to actually edit it, or I can record my own. So let's take a look at both of those, and I'll just show you the interface because it'll be a lot easier if I'm doing it while I'm doing something. So what we have here is our editing view. It's not really anything in it because we're not editing yet. So I'm just going to hit record, and then I'm going to record something. So it's going to ask me what's the name of the record. The sample rate, we're going to keep it at 44 hertz. We can see there's a whole bunch of others. 44, 48 is usually good. 44 will be fine. Stereo, 32-bit, and we could give it a name and just call it narrative test 1. Okay, so we'll just put that in. And here we go, testing, testing, 1, 2, 3, testing, testing, 1, 2, 3, stop. And what we see here are the sound waves and how they actually work. The straight line means there's nothing going on. When we see these peaks, that means it's popping. So if I hit play, and here we go, testing, testing, 1, 2, 3, testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. And we can start to read these of where those sounds are. I can even left mouse click and just select an area and play just that area. And here we go. So let's say I wanted to get rid of this area here. Okay, I just want to silence it out. So I could actually just, there's a few ways we could do this. When you right click, you'll notice there's a bunch of options. There's even more up here we'll talk about, but so I can select all, deselect all these, but I can just go and say, you know what, this area right here, I want to keep the length maybe the same, but I just want it quiet. I just want to take the sound out, so I'm just going to say silence. And you see now it just gets rid of that. So now if I hit play, testing, testing, 1, 2, 3, testing, testing, 1, 2, 3, and that get rid of it. I could get rid of this little pop that's here and just say silence. Boom. So now it's totally quiet until we get to there. Maybe we don't want this big pause, and we just want to select that and hit delete. And now I've gotten rid of that. Now there's less time before it actually goes in. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3, testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Now occasionally you'll find that the recording was great, but it's too low. Maybe my microphone volume was too low, maybe I spoke too low, and I want to boost this up. So inside of here, there's a few things we could do. I mean, you can crop, silence, do all this, but you'll notice it doesn't have a ton of things, and that's where we would go in and we could go up under effects. Now, if I don't have anything like an area selected, then what it's going to do is going to apply the effect to the entire sound file. So if I have just one area selected and I do an effect, it's only going to affect that area that's selected. But if I don't have anything selected, it's going to apply to the whole thing. So I'm going to go under Effects, and we can just go under Amplitude and say Amplify. And what that does, pulled it up on I have 3 screens, so pulled up into here. And here's where I can add my gain. I can either lower it if it's too high or raise it if it's too low. And I can, before I hit apply, I can test it out. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3, testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Say, oh, that's louder, but let's make it a little too loud. Let's boost it up just a little bit. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. And this is nice because we can see down here when it goes into the red, that usually means you're getting into distortion area, and things are going to get a little weird. So that should be fine. I'm just going to hit apply. When I do that, you notice my peaks are much larger now. Okay, and this is great. So let's say you got something, and we're trying to not get the wrath of the censors, and something had a bad word or something, and we want to beep that out. So if I hit testing 1, 2, 3, testing, testing 1, 2, 3, test. So maybe right here, testing, testing 1, testing, testing 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 2, 3. Okay, have to actually, now we can do it. Testing, testing 1, 2, 3. Okay, so right here, we go to Effect. And I can actually, there's a few different things we could do. We can add noise, we can modulate, we can add delays. There's lots of actual cool stuff that we can do inside of here, but we can also generate. So I can either generate noise, speech, or tones. When you generate a tone, that basically means like when you're watching a TV show that's been edited, and you see like, they're like, hey, then it goes beep, and then goes to the next word. That's what the tones are. So if I click that, and it pulls up this menu here, which is adding the tone. Once again, I can always check, see what that sounds like. Right there, see? And you could mess around with it. Usually, it doesn't have to be blaring. You can increase its frequency and adjust it, but this is usually just the default. Is typically pretty good. They do have other tones that you can put in, which are kind of funny, like a bell sound or whatever, but usually just the default. And I'll just hit OK. So now if I hit play, 1, 2, 3, testing 1, 2, 3, potty mouth. Okay, so that actually works out really well. So now I have all of this stuff in here. I've made my adjustments, and I'm just showing you the basics. So let's say the sound is great, and I want to, I'm ready to save this out. So now I can do a save, and it'll ask me what file format and where do I want to save it to, and you just give it. It already has the name because I put it in. If we're dealing with After Effects, or Maya, typically you'd want to save as a WAV file. Another alternative, if you're using a Mac or you'll be going back and forth, AIF works fine as well. Maya is not a fan of the MP3s, so you want WAV. WAV just pretty much plays on everything. So if I have a WAV file, leave the default settings, that's all good. And then you plug it into where you want it and just hit OK. And now you'd have your WAV file saved out, ready for export.